Hello, and welcome to Constellation Conference Interviews. I'm Linda Comeau, and today my guest is James Woeber. And our conference is coming up October 5th to 8th in Virginia Beach. For more information, please look at our website, nasconstellations.org. But today we're going to talk about James's topic, which is collaborative leadership through constellations. Welcome, James.
Nice to be here, Linda. Great to see you.
Great to see you again. So before I start off, I would like to ask you, do you recall when you were writing up your workshop, how it might relate to the theme of the conference, which is Bridging the Divide, Healing the Personal and Collective Soul?
Yes, first of all, I think it's a great theme. I think it's really important right now that we, not just on a constellation level in our community, but on a global level, it seems to be like the theme that's most important right now. So I'm really happy that the conference is focusing on that. With my particular presentation, collaborative leadership is really a lot about really recognizing the individual needs and the group needs. And so a lot of the work that I do with these type of constellations explore that in more detail. And so what better way to really recognize what's really needed in all parts so we understand one another better and then are able to work together in different ways so that we do bridge the divide between the way that we're seeing things, then really delving into the deeper pieces that are involved in what's driving us, what's important to us, what's sticking, what supports us in opening and things like that. So it's very much, I wanted to present this anyway, but when I saw that the theme was that, I thought, oh, that's perfect.
Yes, it's a fantastic theme. I don't know if they've had themes so focused in the past, but I was also very excited to see how they presented the schedule in the different tracks. So it's going to be a very exciting conference. So let's talk about collaborative leadership through constellations. Tell us about your talk.
Okay, so there's many different ways of setting this up, but again, two main components depending on the group, what their experience level is, what their end goal is with the group, and it could be with an organization or it could be with a community, it could even be with a family or a relationship, because those are all groups, and there's a way in which we're moving from the hierarchical old structure of organizations and groups and really moving to new types of structures, more circular leadership, ways in which all different viewpoints are included in as part of the progression of the group and the vision of the group. And again, that even is included when you have a family or a relationship. So the collaborative leadership constellations really explores that in more depth. And there's a way of setting it up so that you can look at both the collective goal, the collective vision that you're moving toward, and also the individual vision and needs that are part of that. And when you find balance with both, one of the wonderful things with it is that it ends up serving both sides. We oftentimes in our minds, especially in our society, it's more of a matter of whose needs are being met, and different groups having different views on what the end goal is, what really serves the group. We can see that in politics. We can see that in many different areas. But the more that we really focus on the core needs and what really serves the larger system and the individual, it ends up actually being the same thing more and more when you really get to the depths of it. So that's one of the reasons I love this type of constellations. It really kind of reflects back to us how that can serve us if we're able to go and really look at the larger system from that perspective.
So James, may I ask you how you might set up an organization? Let's say you go to ABC company and you've done some preliminary fact-finding, you have a sense of where they might like to go. Can you tell us how you might set this up?
Yeah, so first of all, to your point there, usually I like to have a process in the beginning where you decide what the shared vision is and have anyone who's a major stakeholder, and I like including all people involved to have some input on what that is. That starts things off already then you have the constellation moving. because everyone's feeling like they belong, they have input, and so forth. And then setting up the constellation, usually doing in the beginning, having a representative for a collective, so a collective role with that constellation. So sometimes it's appropriate to have several of those if you have different levels of management, for example. Sometimes it's appropriate to put customer or client in there. And then also, so you have different divisions or different levels of the organization represented. And then recognizing what is the movement toward the end goal, the agreed upon vision. And in that process, the pitfalls, the healing movements, all of those dynamics show up so that the group can see as a whole what serves us, how can we work together to reach that end goal. So that's one part of that. And then a second part on the back end of the constellation is almost a second constellation where you have the individuals who are key stakeholders stepping in and noticing what is their role and their relationship around this dynamic that just showed up. So are they feeling like they're part of it? Are they feeling like they're rebelling against it in some ways? Do they feel like they need more resources themselves to serve their role properly? Are they finding their own individual pitfalls that are tripping them up? There's a number of things that can show up like that. And then you get a much better idea of how both the group and the individual are working together within the organization to serve both the end goal and the individual's needs as well.
Oh, that sounds interesting. So then you'd also have a few perhaps follow-up constellations to help resource people perhaps, or find resources available.
Exactly. And the wonderful thing about setting up this type of constellation in the front end is it gives you that, which you're talking about, gives you a really good idea of where you need to work more to create more congruency and collaboration within the group. And also sometimes, I haven't had this happen, fortunately, but individuals potentially could feel like they don't belong as part of the group. I mean, maybe it's time for them to leave. I mean, that could show up as well. But yeah, it gives you a really good idea of, okay, this particular group is getting hung up in this stage. Or here's a pitfall that the whole group is blind to that really needs to be addressed more. And then you can do more work, both with just straight business consulting and with other constellations to explore in more depth, to really help the organization, the community, really go deeper with their understanding, and also in their sense of working as a team, their collaboration, feeling inspired, feeling like they're being heard and they have a role in the process. So yeah, all of that can be deepened once you have kind of the establishing shot from the original constellation.
So they would have, the group might have their mission already identified, their perhaps their alliances, etc. And would you do a test at the beginning to see if it fits for everyone, or would you just take them at their word?
I like your idea with that. That would be a great thing to do. But more of, because there's a process in the beginning where there's enough conversation. Usually, it's pretty honed in on what really serves. But pretty much every time there is some fine tuning with it. There's some fine tuning of, like, and again, I guess potentially you could completely move to a different goal, with a shared outcome with the constellation. But usually, if you have a thorough process in the beginning, you're already on track to an extent. So it's more of a fine-tuning process once you work with the constellation.
Right. I once worked with someone. It was a nonprofit, and they noticed their clients were changing, and we had to re-establish where are we going. It was very interesting.
Yeah. I think that's quite common. Like having a certain view of, like, this is the way that we're supposed to show up with our product, our services. Here's the audience we're serving, and then realizing, well, that's not really a fit. Here's a better fit. Yeah, that's, I think, an excellent point.
Yes, cool. Now that sounds very interesting about your workshop. Anything else to add? You're actually going to do some constellations within, are you?
Yes, very much. It's going to be hands-on. I like, for me, I I mean, I find value in both, but I really like doing hands-on work. So yes, we'll do a collective constellation that will be focused on what we're getting out of the conference. We're all there for individual reasons, and there's also a shared purpose. So it presents itself as a perfect opportunity for here you have the same dynamic that you sometimes have in organizations.
Well, that leads perfectly into my next question. Why should people come to the conference? Tell us more.
Yeah, I can think of many reasons. I really think that the conferences are amazing. They provide an opportunity to really look at what's the evolving movement of the work, what's the cutting edge of the work in our community. At least we have international presenters coming. There's a lot of great presenters from North America. There's really an amazing group of presenters who will be here with lots and lots of different opportunities. And because there's a number of tracks, you can really tailor your experience at the conference to really match what your interests or what your focus might be. And so for me, just for that reason, just for educating ourselves and staying up on the latest, I think that's a great reason. But also it's a great way of being part of the growth of the community, really being a leader within our community. We're in a place now where because of the way that the work came over to the United States, there are still many separate groups who are doing work in the US. And we're really having a need, as Jane Peterson said in the 2015 conference, to have a center for our community. It really benefits all of us. It grows the work more. It really supports us individually moving forward, and it lets more people know about the constellation work. So the more that we can come together as leaders and collaborate in a place like the conference so that we can start bringing the work forward more and more and creating that center, it behooves everybody. And as we all know, this is amazing work and it needs to be out there. So for me, it's part of our responsibility as practitioners to really come together and play a role in bringing the constellation work forward in the community. Yes. So I think it's a great opportunity to do that.
I agree. I was blown away by the 2015 conference.
Yeah, some great presenters, huh? Yeah.
And this year, like you say, some amazing people and diverse, medical issues are being addressed. Collaborative, the organizational part has a good track going on for a change. And it's a wonderful way to connect with people and be resourced in the future. And who knows, collaborative projects together. I know a few have been happening. So excellent. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you telling us about your workshop. And I can't wait till the conference. Anything else to add?
Nope, it's great to see you, and hope to see anybody in the audience, whoever's watching. I hope to see you at the conference as well. It's going to be a great conference. So.
Okay, thank you, James. I really appreciate it. So you can catch James' workshop at Virginia Beach, October 5th to 8th, and check out our website, nasconstellations.org. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you soon. Oh, yes.
You're actually reminding me, I didn't mention my website. So anyone who's interested in doing work I do, family constellations, organizational constellations, a lot of different work, and also do energy healing work as part of that and integrate both into a leadership training program. So www.artofheartfulliving.com is where you can find out more about the work that I do if you have an interest in that. So thank you.
Okay, thanks, James, for taking time today. I really appreciate it. Take care. Look forward to seeing you in October.
Yes, nice seeing you, Linda.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.